Hey y'all, Choice here. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Today I want to take a moment and talk about our art of deception. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. It's part of it. And that's why sometimes it's difficult, not really difficult, it's interesting to bring up certain things. I mentioned this before. When you know that everything we think we know, everything we think we see, everything we believe we're perceiving, all of it's within mind. It's within mind. You know, and for those of you that want to research all of this stuff and go into all this metaphysical, quantum physical kind of stuff. But in layman terms, there isn't anything out there. It's all within here. And so with our minds, we create scenarios. We create stories, very elaborate stories. We create stories, we invent things, we form things. We create reality, co-create reality. So in order for us to have and live out this life, we have to create things and narratives so that we can have experiences. Now, we can go into the spiritual realm, okay? It's like contracts that we have, agreements that we have on the spiritual realm, where we come through, we choose our parents, we come through into an environment, a condition. But we don't always know the nuances of this. We call that forth as we begin to form our character. Though we come in with an archetype, we were born under some alignment of some type of alignment of the stars, a point of view, a point in space. And in that point of view, we come through with an archetype, a certain character, if you will. But with that, whatever we're here to examine, to experience, to create, to call forth, we're all here on purpose. We are all here on assignment. This is one of the finest universities as a spiritual being having a human experience. But we are here on assignment. Some things that we are here to call forth and bring about in our unique way and way of doing it from our point of view. It's still the flow of consciousness coming through each and every one of us. And each and every one of us has our own point of view. Like I love that analogy of being in an audience and each one in their seat and each observing the movie, the play, or whatever it is from a particular point of view. If you get up out of your seat and you move somewhere else, you will have a different point of view. And so that's how you would express it if you had to speak from that perspective. You would see it different from the other that may be sitting somewhere else. Their point of view would be from a different place, different perspective. So, with all of that said, we're here to express, evolve, grow, learn, teach, whatever it is. And when we get caught up into narratives, yes, it gives us an opportunity to play out what we are here to accomplish, or to the role that we are assuming while we're here. But when we allow ourselves to get caught up in another story, remember the lenses. I talked about everyone's perspective is a lens, it's their point of view, right? So if they are not tuning in and creating their own narrative, and they spend most of their life looking at life, dealing in life from another's point of view. Perfect example is like reading a book, and so being so absorbed in that book, that story that someone else has written for you, that you do not take responsibility for your life. You're not following your own tune. You're not living according to your own soul's purpose. Instead, you are living the life of, a narrative that has been written through a lens of another's perspective on life, instead of tapping into your own. So how can I put this better? Let's see. The I within ourselves, and speaking from that perspective, we only refer to the words in the doctrine. We only speak what's in the doctrine, as though that's the only story that matters. That you too have a song that needs to be known or written. You too have a scripture, a canon. You too have a letter within yourself that you never get to write. It all has its place, but we are here for something more than what we think. We are here to bring more richness to the world. And if you're bringing everyone on board to think alike, to feel alike, to be alike, to do alike, where's the expression? Where's the expression? We see it all throughout nature. Another tree. The tree is not identical to the next tree. It's different. When we lean into someone else's history, it's their story through their lens. And then we are then living their story. And not creating a story of our own. So a quick word, just to remind you, always a quick word. Everything that goes on here, the greatest university, planet Earth, and perhaps some other in the heavens, is our opportunity to tell our own story. But if we're all caught up in someone else's story, I guess we'll just be here to do it again and again and again, because we keep looping it. we keep looping it. So I guess it's okay, you know, to each his own. A little food for growth, food for thought, a little insight, a little insight. Much love. Choice here. Thank you so very much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Namaste.